right, everyone, welcome back to the show. We have the YZY page up. Look at that. YZY right there. Doesn't work though, but hey, it's on there.
GM homies. Shout out to all of my YZY fans. Hope you're happy.
Yeah, guys, this has been one that's like extremely long awaited. I remember we were expecting it back when we had that whole wave of Trump, Melania, Libra. We were like, okay, YZY next. We had other creator coins back then like Iggy and, you got a whole bunch of stupid ones too, but everyone was waiting on Kanye. And then out of nowhere last night, he just springs up with this YZY token, which was kind of wild. So I don't know. We'll discuss that a little bit today, along with other things. We got hegemony coming on. AI powered trading algorithm that detects news before anyone else, and longs or shorts that news on leverage. So should be pretty interesting. Their returns over the last 70 days have been like 8,000%, and they've had some good signups. Believe capital's backing them a little bit, so it'll be a cool conversation. See what they're building out. Other than that, we got some new tickers to look at and talk about the broader market, which is, again, bleeding. This whole week, these last couple of weeks have just been brutal.
Yeah, markets have been tricky, man. Trenches have been, for the most part, pretty dead this last week or two. But I don't think that'll last. I don't think that'll last. I think we're coming towards the end of this on-chain, I don't know if you want to say lack of activity or low in activity or what have you, but I think on-chain is going to heat up here pretty soon in the next few days and weeks. Who took the YZY trade, by the way? Marco, you got destroyed on the YZY trade. Yeah, I got instant PTSD from Trump and Melania. So I could have hit a few percent on it, maybe a 50, 40% trade, but it wasn't worth the risk for me. The R&R just wasn't there. Yeah.
Is it a good thing? Is it a good thing that this token kind of just fell flat, or
it's a good thing? Absolutely.
You think so?
Markets are learning. And one thing that a lot of people they complain about CT a lot. They always say, CT this, CT that. And as it turns out, CT is actually a really good place to, help you suss out information. And, as soon as YZY dropped, the market was in PTSD mode. They're like, oh no, top is in, calling for this, that. But most people were, at the very least, they were kind of hesitant. They're like, hold on, wait a second. What are we doing here? And a lot of people were very hesitant to take the trade. Narcissist GM, bro. Hey, Narcissist, did you take the YZY trade? But on that thought, though, Dom, there was this one tweet that I did want to pull up, and I think this is points to exactly how much the market has matured. Yes, there's trenches and gamblers and FNFs and bundles, etc. That we have all of that, yes, but at the end of the day, we're still making headway. We're still maturing as a market in some way, shape, or form. And so, as you see, this tweet says, "Did you trade YZY out of nearly 2,000 votes?" And this was just a few hours. This was posted just a few hours ago. Most people faded. This trade. Some people profited. So between the people that profited the trade, likely, maybe they caught it early. Maybe they flipped for a quick plus 30% or whatever, or maybe 30 to 60%. Because most of the people taking the trade, in my opinion, were people who kind of just degens, degens who kind of wanted to try their luck, I guess you can say. But between the degens who, oh, what's up, Kish? Between the degens who faded and profited, that's about 80% or so. Maybe
Yeah, you had to
88.
be in the first like 2 candles, basically.
Mhm.
Well, I'll
First
tell
2
you,
minutes to make money.
I'll tell you this too. You probably weren't in the first 2 candles because transactions were not going through. If you could push a transaction through, congratulations. Some of the people that got in early, like the earliest people I really know that were able to get transactions through, were like 500-600 mil, to be honest. So, I mean, yeah, if you go in with big size there, you can still cook, and there was still lots of profit to be had. But I think 80% or 70% again went to insiders on this trade. So we got a repeat of the Trump, the Libra, the whole situation where you have, it was 30%, 10% of liquidity pool, 20% to the public, right? So really low float token, majority goes to insiders, and they, basically rinsed everybody. So no surprise there. I didn't trade YZY. But I know a lot of people had trouble getting their transactions pushed through. So
Yeah, I definitely think the markets are starting to learn. And when this whole thing happened, the first question I saw everybody ask was, "Yo, is this real? Is this real? Or is this market top? Is this Trump 2.0, right?" And one of the first things that I saw as well was this tweet. Here was circulating pretty early before Bubble Maps posted it, but I'm gonna access it through Bubble Maps. As you can see, the same day that Libra's funds were unfrozen, just a few hours later, you had this YZY launch. And so you kind of have this, you had a lot of degens asking, okay, well, what's the odds that the first thing this guy does when he gets 60 million back is launch another scam? And a lot of people said, a lot of people were like, no, you know what, he's probably scamming again, right? And then there was another tweet as well. And Bubble Maps does a good job of covering like some of the distribution and stuff that happened around this. But there was another tweet here where again we see CT already sussing this token out before it even launched, hearing rumors that a certain FNF group is collecting SOL to launch a fake YZY coin in the next few hours. Be careful not to get scammed. And this was at 8:15 before this thing launched. So you had some people getting a heads up. Then you have Bubble Maps kind of confirming, or not Bubble Maps, but kind of just news confirming that they got their funds unfrozen, and this just so happened to launch the same day. So we got a lot.
I actually happen to believe that the two are not connected. Like, I don't think Haven Davis was behind YZY, to be frank. By the way, like, no one in this world has a burning hatred for Hayden Davis more than I do. I got rinsed on Libra, and that dude's like a scum of the earth. I can't believe that they released those funds, to be honest. The nature of crypto is like supposed to be decentralized and, not having your money held up. So like, I guess you could take it as a win for crypto, but the fact that we're just giving 56 million bucks to a obvious and blatant scam is terrible. And it all went downhill once Trump launched. Really, we did get crime is legal season, and like, I'm not telling you guys to go commit crime on chain here, but I doubt you're going to be prosecuted for it if you do, because I mean, once the president of the United States gets the free pass, everyone else kind of will follow suit, and that's what we've seen. But
well, here's the other thing. It's one thing to be guilty, but it's another thing to prove it in court. So I think with the kind of nature, the kind of a non-nature of crypto, it kind of makes it hard to confirm certain facts. I would assume anyway in court. But yeah, like you really had, you really have crime season. It's really crime season out here.
yeah, I saw YZY Kanye kind of covered his bases. He has plans, quote unquote plans for the token, a roadmap, and so like, honestly, if you take that to court, let's be real, like you could easily play, oh no, I had plans for utility for this. This is just a failed startup, or yada yada yada,
Yeah.
whatever you want to say. So no, I think you got a great point. You can't really prove it in court most of the time, but it is what it is.
Yeah, Cold Town puts it really well though. By the way, what's up, Ave Cree, GM to the homies? Cold Town says, I'm glad people are finally getting tired of donating money. I think that's exactly what it is. And again, just another kind of way of proving my point of the markets are maturing. We're regressing in some ways, but we're maturing in others, and we're able to. Imagine if this was, November, December last year. You know what I mean? Like if this launched, oh man, this would have been 10 bill easily. Especially seeing that some of the stuff is kind of true. Like I'm seeing that the bubble maps matches the distribution on Kanye's website, right? Like, and we're seeing the YZY token on the website, so we know for in some way, shape, or form, this is some sort of legit, but like no one wants to touch it regardless because they don't know how legit it is. Kanye's Twitter account could have easily been hacked.
Well, I don't think that was it. He put out a video, and I think it's legitimate. But Kanye's like, I mean, let's not sit here and assume Kanye is the most like morally aligned person.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, but with that, most people still didn't take the trade. I think a lot of people are more, they're more wary now. They're looking out and actually kind of like thinking with how they're doing some of this stuff. So I guess we'll have to see what how YZY does. Actually, let me do this.
More or less, though, we saw the effects on chain that YZY caused, right? More than anything, whether you traded YZY or not, you were probably affected by it if you hold anything on chain, on Solana, that is. We saw lots take dumps. We saw lots get really nice bounces, right? Collide in particular, Light had a really nice bounce, which it's given back most of, I think, for Light. We saw, I think Tabuku had a really nice bounce, but I can't recall. Spark had a nice bounce, along with many others. Newt. So again, we want to keep eyes on those because that's what's going to show strength when the market really does turn. But obviously today with Bitcoin going down, the things that did bounce kind of just gave a lot of it back today. But you can go ahead and talk about that tweet.
Yeah, just the last thing I'll say on this whole YZY, ticker. But apparently a wallet hit, bought in at 200 mil, let's call it, with 250K, secured $1 million in profits, and then sent it to another, the same wallet received, secured $1 million in profit and then sent it to a treasury wallet. That same treasury wallet received 20 mil from another lucky sniper who only traded Libra. So obviously there's some connection, right, that we're starting to see. And we're getting this now. Like this is hours and hours and hours after this was launched. So, but as you can see, most people didn't trade it from the poll that we were looking at earlier. So a lot of people sniffed this out really early. They just, the vibe was that this wasn't, this was kind of in the same vein of Trump and Melania. But he made $1 million in profits in 8 minutes. He cashed out, and this is just rather a thread that kind of goes through, the history with the Libra sniper and everything, and how much they extracted. Total so far, 23 mil almost.
Jeez,
1.8 with just YZY. But yeah, extraction is going on this coin. That's 100% certainty. 100% certainty. But yeah, like you said, yeah, go ahead.
It roped in $415 million worth of volume in the last 24 hours. So there was plenty of extra liquidity to be had there. I mean, to say people didn't trade it is a little disingenuous because there was a lot of trading volume, but I think like generally, if we compare it to Trump, yeah, you're right. A lot of people sat out and sniffed it out, like you said. But crazy, man. How can we get into these circles, these insider circles? Because this is nuts. These
For
guys
real.
are minting.
For real, please.
Yeah, but like Trump
Please.
had his token had like a 2-day, 3-day cook. You
Yeah.
know, it topped out 70 billion on so it launched on Friday, and then it didn't really cook until Sundays when it hit its peak. So there was enough time for you to get in there, trade it, and it wasn't extracted in the first 2 candles.
No, yeah. Trump lasted a little while. Again, it was like the first of its kind. That's a
Yeah.
huge shocker. It makes sense. But I was interested to see if YZY would kind of follow that, where we got Trump trending up for 2-3 days, where people were kind of catching on. I was like, well, I could see Kanye coin trending up for the next, 5,
Couple
10,
days. Yeah.
not even a couple days, because the market matures and they start front running things, but 5, 10, 15 hours. And we really didn't get much of that at all, which I was kind of shocked about. So good. I mean, that's
Yeah.
good. We're maturing.
100%. 100%.